Are you ready?
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
I was right.
The Sixers won it. The Sixers win the game.
Let's go.
I'm the best.
And here are your hosts, Jessica Town and Rob Lange.
You're a jackass.
Embrace the madness.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of The Madness. This is episode 81. We are your hosts, Rob Lange, Jessica Town. It is getting warmer outside, finally.
It's warm in here, too.
It's warm in here, too. The weather is finally breaking, and it is getting to that time of the year where you get NBA playoffs, and baseball is now in full swing.
Yeah.
And of course, you like that? He's like, I did that. And lots to talk about today, which we will get to in a moment. But first, The Madness is always brought to you by ProSportsNotes.com, powered by WildfireRadio.com. You can catch the podcast on WildfireRadio.com, 9 to 11 every Friday morning. But you can catch us live on YouTube right now, Pro Sports Notes channel on YouTube. You just click on episode 81 and you will catch the live stream. You can chat with Jess right on there. Say what you feel. We don't care if you're insulting us. We like to be insulted, and if it's a good one, we'll bring it up and tell you why you're wrong and move on from there. But few announcements, Jess, that we have to make. First of all, an announcement we make every week: shop.prosportsnotes.com. Get over there. The new shirt went up last night. Our Stupid Money shirt. We've kind of been teasing it for a few weeks.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, when you sent me the image yesterday, I smiled ear to ear because it, to me, might be the best thing we have on there. And shout out,
Sean was very excited
to your mother for that one, because that one is, I literally did not have a ton of money in my personal account yesterday, but I found enough to make sure I went and purchased one of the shirts, especially on the old school maroon background. And
it looks real good on the maroon.
I am so excited for this shirt to get here. I bought 2 T-shirts yesterday, and that was one of them. The other one, we'll talk about that later when I get into my irrational excitement for something upcoming that you're going to totally make fun of me about, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
But
taking this off.
Okay, so there's all right.
Let me be.
Don't worry, guys. I will not be taking off my button up. Everything is good. We're going to stay right here where we're at.
It's just my sweater.
I'm
little toasty.
Little toasty. No, there are no objections. All right. Back to the show.
Anyway.
Jess and me have been trying to put and plan something for the draft. And I think we have settled on something that is going to be tremendous. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it right now on the, I guess, right-hand side of your screen. And that's right. It is a draft day tailgate party followed by a viewing party to a certain extent at Xfinity Live right across the street. Jess, this was your baby.
I'm excited.
And all the artwork you see is Jess's baby. So thank you to her. So I want you to give details out to everyone right now.
Okay, so we will be hosting a draft party. We'll be in the Wells Fargo Center lot before the draft, which is on Thursday, April 25th. We'll be there from 5 to 7, and we'll have snacks and drinks of the 21 plus variety as well as the under 21 variety.
Yes.
We'll have fun tailgate games. We'll have popsicles. They'll be delicious.
Which, by the way, made for the greatest text message I've ever received today, and I'm going to read it for you.
Please do. So to preface this,
no, I don't want to preface it.
Well, I was just going to tell the story. So when Joe and I went to the it was that thing that Christian Crosby had at Foot Locker. It was like a Philly business owner thing. So there were a bunch of different companies there. It wasn't just Live Life Nice. It was a bunch of other different companies as well. And there was one called Whimsical, and they are gourmet popsicles, and they're delicious, and they're like homemade, and they come and but they make them, and then they come to your events and they hand them out, and you prepay before, so you don't have to pay for popsicles as you're getting them.
I smile not because I think the whole concept is funny. I think the concept is brilliant. But when you have not spoken to someone for an hour and 15 minutes and you're sitting at your job and this text message pops through. Say I were to book a popsicle guy for the party. How many popsicles would you say we should have? First of all, it felt like a math word problem right off the bat. So the first thing I thought of was like, wait a minute, do I have to carry any numbers here? Are there any exponents? I don't know how to answer this. So that's the text I received. There was no preface that you just got of, hey, I know this guy. No, it just came out. Say I was going to order some popsicles. How many should we get?
That's on me.
And it was, I laughed pretty damn hard in that moment. So thank you, Jess.
Bad.
You brought some joy.
I'm so glad I could
to my morning at 11 o'clock this morning.
So
thank
I could
you.
do that for you. So yeah, we're gonna have a popsicle guy. That's gonna be fun. And then afterwards, we are going to go to Xfinity to watch the actual draft. Now, obviously, you have to be 21 or older to come do that with us. But for the tailgate party, all ages are welcome because we have some family members and cousins and things that'll probably be there that are not of age. So we'll have, lots of different things, and it's gonna be a good time.
I have to preface one thing here, Jess.
Oh boy, what?
I have to say it because we all know that I work in a high school. And obviously we hit the social media game hard today.
Yeah.
Both of us did. And it led to many high school students, no seniors, the seniors are away on their senior trip, coming up to me going, can't wait to come to the tailgate party. Let me put this disclaimer out there.
Are you going to get in trouble for that?
No, because here's the deal. I'm not going to allow them to come to the tailgate party.
I was about to be like,
if you are right now, currently in the high school, of any age, if you're in high school, I'm sorry. I love you all. You cannot come.
We could make it a yearly thing, and when you graduate,
once you graduate, you could come. Obviously, you cannot drink if you were over or under 21. But I can't have you coming to the tailgate party and then being in school on Monday saying, Mr. Lange, I had so much fun hanging out at your tailgate party. That's not going to go over well. So I'm sorry. We would love to have everyone there. We would love 500 people there. But it can't be anybody that is now a student at Gloucester Catholic High School. Really, at any high school for that matter, unless it's a sibling, I think is
sibling or really close first cousin or something is our cutoff.
College, I think that's fair game. I
college,
think there's no problem with that.
If you're not 21, don't
try and play games.
Don't mess.
I don't know what you think this is.
But anyway,
we're gonna be hard pressed on you.
Yeah, wristbands and everything.
Yeah.
Not really.
But, no.
But come on, don't. But yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm excited, and we're gonna keep posting about it on social media and stuff. We have a Facebook event open. Obviously, we're not expecting everybody, if they're planning on showing up or dropping by or whatever, to respond. We're not expecting that. Just trying to kind of see possibly, how many numbers we might have, so we know for food and snack purposes, and
if kegs are
and
necessary,
beverage purposes,
I'll just come out and say it.
Yeah, that too. But also just we as we get closer, and a day of when Rob and I get there, we'll post on our social medias as well exactly where we are in the lot. So our goal is to be Wells Fargo Center lot somewhere, ideally as close to Xfinity as we can get. But obviously the exact positioning of where we park and start setting up is going to be determined on the day.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. You're going to have a Phillies game going on that night. We know that for sure. Is there going to be a Sixers playoff game that night? You truly don't know.
I hope not.
There could be. If there is, we will make sure to get there early enough to secure a spot to continue this.
Rob and I will literally be there at 9 o'clock.
I do not work that day. I don't, Jess. I don't know what your plans are, but we will get there in plenty of time to secure ourselves a spot. The tailgate party will go on. I guess we should pretty much say rain or shine. I mean, people tailgate in the rain.
Oh, yeah, we're going to party.
We're going to party in the rain.
We're going to party no matter what happens. That's what they make tents for.
That's what they make tents for.
That's just a whole extra thing
try and have
worry about. But, let's hope.
Let's hope. But, it should be a good time. We are excited. This is the first Madness event that we have ever had.
Yep.
But as we continue to grow and develop this show, these events will happen a little bit more, hopefully. And we'll try and have some giveaways there if we can and things of that nature.
Yeah, we'll try to do some fun things.
Do some fun things for you.
I'll be wearing a shirt with my own face on it. So
yeah, I won't do that. I've made it very clear that I can't do that. But I will wear. I will probably be wearing a shirt that says Jackass across the front of it. Maybe a Stupid Money shirt. Maybe we make some sort of draft party shirt. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Possibly.
We'll have to see how things play out here over the next couple of weeks. And this show will start to talk more about the draft next week. And obviously the night before the draft, we will discuss the draft at length. Tonight is going to kind of be more, let's delve into the other two teams that are doing things right now.
Do you know this person? Is this a student of yours?
Yes. Yes, it is. Hello, sir.
He's our biggest fan.
He's our biggest fan. I will say, I got to give him credit. Since I had him in class last year, I don't have him anymore. He has been someone who has, I don't think, missed very many episodes. So we appreciate the support and fandom, as you put to him right there. And yeah, see, you can chat with us live right here, right now. This is
fine.
This is okay. Because anything you say that's inappropriate, we're just not going to put out there.
No, we won't.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, we are going to move into Sixers, Phillies talk. A lot of things going on with both. I think a little bit of overreaction on all of our parts with the Phillies 10 games into a season where they're 7-3. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll even say that I probably overreacted a little bit, but it was a little, last night was a frustrating game. You're up, you see the team up 6-1, and before you know it, the team is losing 10-6, and it was a tough one to take, tough one to swallow. The bullpen has not been great.
No.
But really, neither has the starting pitching, including our boy Aaron Nola, has just not looked himself. Oh, boy. They're all hanging out together watching the show.
Look what you've done.
Well, you know what it is? They all have sports, right? So they're all waiting for practice to start. Is my assumption, or no, they're just watching.
They just care more about our show.
We have had 4 people view so far, so that's a good thing. So thank you to you two.
No, that's concurrent viewers right now. We've had 8.
Oh, well, there you go. We've had 8 people.
Total.
We're moving up.
Moving up in the world.
Moving up in the world.
Anyway. Phillies bullpen.
Phillies bullpen. Listen. Not great. And I know everyone wants to blame Gabe Kapler and say, well, why is he?
I don't really blame Gabe.
You can't blame him right now. He has what he has. Trash. Guys have not pitched well. David Robertson finally had a good outing, but prior to that was not good.
No.
Pat Neshek apparently decides when he wants to pitch, when he doesn't want to pitch. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like he can't pitch back-to-back days. Like I don't.
You pitched an inning.
I don't get it.
Like you pitch an inning, how can you not pitch?
Yeah.
Back-to-back?
And what does it do? It makes them put Ramos out there, who is not very good. And granted, he was 1 strike away.
Yeah.
Why he's not wasting every one of those pitches is beyond me. Instead of hanging a slider, and that ball was hit very far. And just like in the very next inning, Alvarez just lays one up there, and Soto
I'm going to be completely honest. I went to bed.
I turned it off.
I turned it off once the Phillies did not do anything in the bottom of the 9th. I was like, it is my bedtime. And I went to sleep because I was exhausted. But I was annoyed. I knew, as I was watching it happen, I knew it wasn't going to end well. So it was just one of those things where you saw it coming. Like you saw the writing on the wall for that Philadelphia sports team in this current moment. And I just decided not to put myself through it.
You know what I didn't put myself through last night? I was really glad I didn't.
The Sixers game?
Not 1 minute of the Sixers game.
I watched the beginning because I wanted to see the stuff with Dwayne Wade.
No, I didn't even. The writing was on the wall for that game from the word go. And I wanted nothing to do with it.
Well, when I saw who was playing and who wasn't, I went, yep. They're going to lose by 30. Yeah. And they did.
Close too. I think it ended up,
122 to 99.
Yeah,
so whatever
points.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. But listen, the Phillies are 7-3, and their bullpen, yes, has blown 2 games, but they're still 7-3. They still hit the hell out of the ball. They're still outside of the one game where I think they only had 2 or 3 runs. They're scoring runs at will.
Yeah.
And this is without JT Realmuto really hitting the ball.
Except for last night.
This is without Andrew McCutchen really being on more of a consistent tear. This is with the fact that Cesar Hernandez is making you realize why, like, people like myself are like, I don't really like this guy. This is what I fear with him.
Kingery played really well the other night.
Kingery played very well the other night. Guys aren't.
That was enjoyable. I enjoyed him not completely.
Yes. But I mean,
floundering.
Are there issues? Yes. Will they address them? I totally believe they will. But let's just relax, because the thing is, if they win tonight against Washington, that their first 4 series, they have not lost. They've either won or tied in all 4 series, which they didn't do all of last year in a row. I don't know if they did 4 in a row last year, but they didn't lose a series.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so just relax. I think everything is going to be fine with this team. And it has been more fun. I found myself wanting to watch more Phillies early this season.
Yes, I have been actually tuning in on my television and planning my evenings around making sure I'm sitting in front of my TV to watch Phillies games. Yeah. That easily hasn't happened in 10 years.
Now, like I said, do I sit down and watch innings 1 through 9? I don't.
No, I flip around.
I have, like I said, an unhealthy obsession right now, which I'm saving. I'm saving my unhealthy obsession.
Unhealthy obsession with what?
I'm saving it. I don't want to tell anybody until later.
Okay, that's
when we do This Is Madness, because it is madness what I'm doing.
Okay.
With the show I'm watching.
Okay. Is it Game of Thrones? You're not the only one in the world. You're not special with that one. You're not special with that one.
She just wants to ruin it. Oh, no, but the way that I'm watching it.
I believe you. I can't wait to hear about it later, but you're not special with the fact that you're
I know I'm not special.
Binging
I don't think I'm special. I think anyone that does it is a fantastic human being and should be doing it.
I don't care.
And
whatever.
Yeah, because you suck. But that's besides the point. You just had a ruin. I was trying to tease it.
It was horrible. It was poorly done. Very poorly done.
This is my partner of almost a year, ladies and gentlemen. Just totally insulting me as always.
I insulted you a lot earlier today, too. It's all right.
You did?
I called you a jackass, real straightforward on text message. You were being a jackass. You just
I didn't realize it. Never mind. You know what I didn't realize.
It's just funny.
Shut up, you. But look, I will say, and I said this going into the season about the Phillies, I know it's not necessarily what everyone around baseball is doing anymore, but I want set roles for guys in the bullpen. I don't want this who's going to close the night thing. I don't want it.
That's fair.
Or who's going to set up the night. I don't care in the early rounds, but 7, 8, and 9 need to be dedicated to 2 pitchers per inning. And I don't know why they can't do that.
Because they don't know what they have. They don't.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Gabe. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming Gabe.
And I guess I was listening to Mikey Miss on the way over here today, and he was saying that, so when everyone was going up in arms about why they put Hector in the 8th, it was something like, who did he face? I want to say, Dozier, Eaton, Soto, and...
I'm trying to pull it up to see if we can.
Oh my God, I'm losing it. No, I had it.
Let's see.
I don't remember who their fourth batter is. Who's their fourth batter?
I don't know. Hold on. Bottom of the 8th, top of the 8th.
I need top.
Well, it wasn't Dozier because he homered in the 9th.
No, he was absolutely on base.
Oh, you want to know what the problem is?
What? You're looking at the wrong game?
For some reason, when I clicked on MLB.com, Monday night's game just came up.
Interesting.
That was just.
But anyway, stupid. It was whoever the first 3 batters were. They were 4 for 25, 7 strikeouts, and no walks in Hector Neris's career. So it was an analytics move by Gabe, which in a way, yeah, that one makes sense. I just wish they would have put him out there again for the 9th. Yeah,
I sometimes, and this is just baseball in general. I feel like they're babying these bullpen guys too much. You very rarely see a guy go out there for 2 innings. Just put them out there.
Just let them
have guys ready to go in the bullpen to bring them in if you have to. But put them out there. I mean, the fact of the matter is, in a year, when you put a guy in the bullpen out there, they're going to have to pitch 3 batters.
Yes.
That's going to be the rule. Start getting them ready for it. I mean, I just I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I'm with you.
It is what it is. But I think, look, it's been fun. They're a good team.
It's very enjoyable.
It really has been enjoyable. I love the attitude on the team. I love the mentality. They seem to really enjoy each other in every stretch of the imagination. You know, the other night you get Rhys Hoskins hitting 2 home runs. On a night where the bats aren't clicking, he gives you 2 home runs, you win the game. So,
which was so much fun.
You were there, right?
I was there.
You were there for that one?
Yeah, I was there for that one. I paid $22 for 2 hot dogs and a beer. And then the next night was Dollar Dog night, but they lost. So I paid $22 for 2 hot dogs and a beer, but they won.
So there's nothing to complain about.
Worth it. I put that poll up on Twitter last night, actually.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
I think I voted. And
because it's a fair question.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, which is worse? Like, I don't.
Well, I mean, to me, winning trumps everything.
Yeah, I agree. But I just, because I was sitting there like, tomorrow is Dollar Dog night, and I'm sitting here handing my credit card over for $22 for 2 hot dogs and a beer.
You know what?
And it's up there, like, at the new Boardwalk Eats. It's up there. It's, you know, the hot dogs, and then you have the burgers. But we did Joe got us a burger, and I went over and got us hot dogs, and we had all of the things. But I was like, oh, okay, $22. And then I looked at the pricing. It's literally just, it added up. It's not any sort of special ordeal. I was just like, yep, that's about right.
But wait, you know, I'm here. You want to hear my hot take?
I do. Actually, not really, but I'm sure you're going to give it to me anyway. Sorry, I just had to.
Makes you really riveting sports radio when your partner doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
Sorry, continue.
Hot dogs are an overrated item at the baseball game.
No.
It's an overrated item.
Okay.
It's very small.
That's not a hot take. That's a freezing cold take.
You pay $5.50 for this small ass hot dog.
It's not small.
No,
it's
they're
extremely
small.
thick.
No. And the show has turned on its axis.
I did get a donut burger.
Yes.
I did. We tried the donut burger, and it was fantastic. Now, granted, yes. I don't think, personally, I could not have eaten one on my own.
Well,
I'm not a huge burger person.
Oh, I am. But I saw that, and I thought it was too much.
So we each had a hot dog, and then we split a donut burger and fries. And then he got a cheesesteak. And I had ice cream.
Joe, we're going to the game next time together, man. We'll have a good time.
So I was really in the mood for a hot dog. I smelled them and was like, want one. So I'm not a big hot dog person either. But if I'm in the mood for one, like at a baseball game or off the grill, perfect.
I like the hot dog. It's a nice item.
But I was sitting at home on Sunday afternoon watching the Phillies game, and they had, I think it was Greg Murphy, go and get the donut burger. And I was like, I'm going to need to try that. Because I've seen them like places where, but never tried it, and it was good.
Never even heard of it until I went to the game, first series.
I recommend. I think you'd enjoy it.
What's that supposed to mean? Is that a fat joke?
It wasn't. I just know you enjoy food, and you and I both enjoy food.
Yes, I'm joking. I just wanted to put
the burger is 100%.
You would already put yourself in an awkward position. Now
burger's 100% worth it. Because it's not a whole donut on both sides. It's a half a donut. So it's not too much, and then there's bacon, and it's like it's a cherry pepper jam too.
It's only half a donut.
Yeah, so it's not 2 whole donuts on both sides. So it's a good balance. Now, granted, like I said, I'm not a huge burger person. Have to be super in the mood for a burger. I also prefer like thin burgers, extremely well done. Like I'm not like a give me a huge like thick burger person. Like that's just not me. You are welcome for my burger recommendation. I don't know this person. But
that's all right.
We're having a full-fledged conversation right now. But yeah, no, definitely worth it. It was very good. Highly recommend.
To me,
and it's the boardwalk fries.
To me, I feel
like down the Jersey Shore.
I feel like just like baseball being America's pastime, and it should never change. We shouldn't change any of the rules because I think we need to get over the idea that you need to have a hot dog when you watch a baseball game.
No, I don't think you need to. I just think it's one of those things that, like, my mind puts them together.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not, even when I was little, like, I was not a big hot dog person. Like, that's a staple for kids.
Too small.
Mostly.
You eat them in like 3 bites and they're gone.
I've never been a hot dog person. But, like, off the grill and 4th of July or Memorial Day or something.
No, I get it on barbecues. Like when they make hot dog, like if they make them, I'm going to have one. But I'm saying, like, I don't go to the baseball game and say, God, I can't wait to get a hot dog. My idea is...
I didn't want one until I walked in there, saw someone with one, and was like, I need that.
Yeah,
that is what I need.
Has no effect on me. No effect.
I was also starving. I had not eaten all day, and I got there and was like, food.
You know what I just realized? Since Atlanta got swept by the Phillies, they're 7-1.
Are they really?
I had no idea that they were 7-1 since they got swept by the Phillies.
Interesting.
They're half a game back. By the way, if the season was to end today, only 10 games in, the Phillies would win the NL East. Just throw that out there for you. By a half a game. Okay. I guess that's it for our Phillies talk, huh? You don't seem too enthused about Phillies talk.
I was meant to do this when I got here while I was waiting for you to get here, but you got here quicker than expected. So we started pretty quickly.
Much quicker faculty meeting than usual.
I'm just looking at some very interesting things right now.
That have to do with what?
The Sixers.
Ew. Should we just move towards the Sixers?
We can.
Can I see the cordy cord thing?
Why?
Because I want to see it.
No, I have it set up for things.
Oh, you have things to play?
Well, yeah. When Patrick calls, I got the thing. Patrick's calling at 4, so I figured we'd talk about the Phillies until then.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
what else did I have written down?
Well, no, you don't have
Phillies?
to give it to me now. You got things set up.
Well, I mean, I don't need it right this second, but you can't just sit there and hoard it.
No. I was just going to put it on for the Sixers theme song, but that's okay. You want to hear it. Look at her. And now all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute. You're going to knock your camera over. Look where that is. Look where that is. That would have been awful on all levels. So we've
that would have not been
that
good.
one fell. So we've decided, by the way, after I can't believe it's the first I'm bringing it up. One of my favorite moments maybe in the first year of this show with me and Jess together happened last week, as a matter of fact. And that was when we got home from the show and we started to watch the playback and realize, as Jess did all these ridiculous dance moves.
Okay, wait, no. It's not ridiculous. Anybody who likes Jimmy Buffett or has ever been to a Jimmy Buffett concert knows that's the dance that goes with fins.
No one's
fins
disagreeing
to the
with you.
Left, fins to the right.
Yes, we're aware of what the dance is. Doesn't make it any less ridiculous. But basically, we found out you guys couldn't hear the music. And that made what Jess was doing look absolutely insane. So this week, we're playing stuff right here on the phones. And to get us into the Sixers playoff time, it works. Okay, we are right around the corner. The season ends tonight. By the time you're listening on the podcast, we'll know who the Sixers are playing and when they're starting, most likely Saturday, I believe. I love this song.
Same.
And so do my children.
Good.
My children like to hear Fly Eagles Fly, followed by the Sixers song.
That's amazing.
And their favorite Sixer? Boban.
I'm not surprised.
Love them some Boban. Love some Boban.
Yes, I do like crab fries. I like all of the food. I like food.
I mean, come on. Who doesn't like a little crab
I like
fry?
food. There are very few things that I'll say no to if you offer them to me if they're food.
Right. I'm just going to let this play in the background here, though, as we move forward into our Sixers playoff run. It's here. We've been waiting for it. And apparently so have they, because they have not played what I would call good basketball.
No, they
over the
haven't.
last month of the year, I would say almost a month. And it has got me, as I texted Jess today, I think I am back to being impractical when it comes to the Sixers.
Lord.
All of my...
And I responded, yeah, it was only a matter of time.
It was. And look, I have tried my best to stay positive. I have, given you my reasons why. But the the game against Chicago aside, which I think we could put 5 people together to maybe beat Chicago right now with all the guys that are sitting out.
You could probably put me out there, and I would help.
Would you?
Chicago.
Would you help? I'm giving you your
I don't know
quarterback.
if I'd help, but I definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. But outside of that, it has been ugly after ugly after ugly. Losing close games, being blown out by the Magic, by the Heat. And I have a major concern, regardless of opponent, that the Sixers are going to be ready come Saturday.
You're concerned that they will not be ready, is you're saying?
Yes. Major concern.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll move on. Right. And Jess, you've been diligently going over some things over there. What are you going to say to me right now?
So I'm trying to look at how the Sixers have matched up with their two potential opponents. They're either playing the Nets or the Magic, right? And tonight we'll learn who. We'll learn
the night. If Nets win, it's the Nets. If Magic win and Nets lose, it's the Magic. I believe is how that's going to play out.
Okay.
Yes.
What if they both win?
If they both win, I think their records are tied right now. So I think if they both win, the Nets are in. I think the Nets own the tiebreaker. Or maybe they don't.
I literally don't. I don't know.
You start talking your stats. I'll look up the playoff scenarios.
So I was just trying to figure out how they matched up with both of these teams based on how they played against them this season and what would be looking like going into playoffs. They split with both. They won 2 and lost 2 with both. And I was just trying to look at how each, our starting 5 played. Now, I only got through the Nets because I was trying to see what their averages looked like against the teams compared to their season average. So what I will say is Tobias Harris has only played in 1 game against the Nets. And I'm checking. I think he's played in 2 against the Magic.
Yeah.
I think.
He played in 2 losses against the Magic, if I believe.
No. One of them was a win.
One of them was a win. He might have played 3 against the Magic then.
No. I don't know. That's one.
By the way, it's Brooklyn owns a 2-1 record against Orlando this year. Therefore, all Brooklyn has to do is win. If Brooklyn wins tonight...
He played in 2.
He played in 2? All right. If Brooklyn wins tonight, Brooklyn's a 6th seed. If Brooklyn loses tonight and Orlando wins, Orlando's a 6th seed. Mm-hmm. So any Brooklyn win is... that we'll have.
So if Brooklyn wins, we get Brooklyn no matter what.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the biggest things was turnovers. One of the biggest things looking at these matchups was turnovers.
Been a problem for 2 years.
I mean, looking at it, I mean, they're against the Nets. I mean, Joel Embiid's turnover numbers are insane. And it's typically whoever wins is whoever wins the turnover battle.
Wait, Joel Embiid's turnovers against the Nets, you're saying, has been bad?
Horrible.
Really?
Yeah. 2,
and I find that
6,
hard to believe. I mean, I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm just saying
2, 6, 4, and 5 this year.
See, and I've gone back and forth.
So he's averaged 4.3 turnovers against the Nets, and his season average is only 3.5.
Yeah.
And Ben also is averaging 3.5 against for the season as well as directly against the Nets.
Yeah. See, and it's funny because I've gone back and forth. Who would I rather the Sixers play? And I don't know if I'm in the minority or not. And maybe I'll put up a poll here as we're posing this question on the show. Who would you rather play? Me, personally, I'd rather, and I know it's going to sound weird, but I'd rather see him play Brooklyn. And look, I understand that out of both teams, Brooklyn probably has the best player on the floor when it comes to D'Angelo Russell. But I look at it and say, okay, who is the Sixers' best player? I think we all know it's Joel Embiid. And I look at who we would match up against in Brooklyn, right? Mm. And you have the looks of... And I'm naming the bigs. I don't even know if these guys are injured or not. I'm just naming who their bigs are.
Sure.
Jared Allen, Ed Davis, Allen Williams. I mean, they got a couple small forwards maybe they would throw at them, but I don't think so. Maybe they attempt to throw a Jared Dudley. I can't imagine they would, though. But the bottom line is that's who they go after if they're playing Brooklyn, which to me says... favor Joel. I think it's always favor Joel. But for some reason, when they play the Magic and he's got to go up against Vucevic gives him problems.
Yes. Vucevic scored 30 points on him.
Yeah. Vucevic gives Joel issues. And to me, I'll explain that later. We're not even giving that airtime, what he said.
No.
And Vucevic... And because of that, because to me, Embiid has a better advantage against Brooklyn, is why I want Brooklyn over Orlando. Because I want my best player to not have anyone that can take him away from his game. Mm-hmm. And I don't see anybody that can take Joel away from his game on Brooklyn.
Although,
regardless of the turnover stat you gave.
3 of the 4 games against the Nets, Joel scored 30-plus points. He's averaging 30 points against the Nets, and his season average is 27.5.
Right.
And he's also averaging 14.3 rebounds, which is above his season average as well.
And if Joel's able
and high in assists.
And if he's able to dominate, that means the rest of the team gets open looks. JJ gets open looks. Tobias gets his open looks. Ben has more room to drive. Orlando gives this team problems because, okay, we already mentioned Vucevic, but DJ Augustine's a tough point guard to match up with. Okay? Evan Fournier kills them. Aaron Gordon is a beast.
and part of the problem is they just have such a hard time covering guards.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac
Evan
kills
Fournier,
him.
31 points.
How Michael Carter-Williams killed him the last time.
What else?
Like, I
Evan
understand.
Fournier, 25 points.
Like, I get D'Angelo Russell's going to be a handful.
Evan Fournier, 24 points.
D'Angelo Russell's going to be a handful. I don't doubt that. And guys like Spencer
Russell, 21 points.
And guys like Spencer Dinwiddie are good. But to me, when I look at the guards on both teams, the whole conglomerate of guards on Orlando scares me more than the guards on Brooklyn, especially when you throw Vucevic in there.
Let's put it this way. D'Angelo Russell, 38 points. Spencer Dinwiddie, 31 points. Sixers win.
Okay.
And you want to know why that was?
Because nobody else scored?
Because Brooklyn turned the ball over 16 times, and the Sixers only turned it over 9. When D'Angelo Russell went for 21 and Karis LeVert went for 20, they only turned the ball over 9 times. Ben had 20 points. Joel had 16. Dario had 14. JJ had 15 coming off the bench. Landry had 12 coming off the bench. The Sixers turned the ball over 27 times. 27
I mean, it don't
times.
matter what you do. If you turn the ball over that much, you're going to lose.
Ben, Joel, Rocco all had 5 turnovers. Mike Muscala had 4. JJ had 3. Amir Johnson had 2. Markelle Fultz and Dario Saric only had 1 turnover each.
Markelle Fultz played, what, 30 minutes or 3 minutes?
No, he played
a lot in that game because that was early.
He played 25 minutes.
Yeah, that was early.
That was like their
still
second
starting.
or third game.
When I look at these two teams, when I look at the matchups, I think overall the Sixers have a better matchup with Brooklyn than they do. And I know Brooklyn has given them problems, and I know that they had to win one game at the buzzer. But, I mean, I watched Orlando absolutely torch this team. I know that Ben didn't play, but they lost by 22 points to Orlando. Mm-hmm. I don't remember them losing by 22 points to Brooklyn. Didn't they only play Brooklyn 3 times?
No, they played the Heat 3 times.
Okay.
They lost by 3 to Brooklyn. They beat Brooklyn by 2. They lost by 25 to Brooklyn.
When the hell was that?
For one of the first games of the season. It was right before they got Jimmy Butler. They lost to the Nets and went, let's find Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's right.
I remember because it was after that game, this one right here, November 4th. I remember them losing to the Nets and looking at Joe and going, someone get me Jimmy Butler.
That's right. I do remember that. So they got blown out by the Nets, but it was before they had the team they have right now.
Yes.
Whereas they got blown out to the Magic with this team, a la no Ben Simmons in the lineup.
Yeah, but Ben Simmons is extremely important.
Well, Ben Simmons is extremely important, but, all I'm told is Brooklyn's tougher match. All right, I like this. I
went to college with this guy.
All right, well,
Hi, Alan.
Well, read Alan's a little quote. Because
Alan said, Brooklyn is a tougher matchup in my opinion. Russell, LeVert, Jared Allen, and Joe Harris. Not saying they'll beat the 76ers in a 7-game series, but I can see that going 5 or 6.
Right, but I could see the Magic taking them 6 or 7. Because, and like I said, to me, the actual X factor is Vucevic. You're not going to stop Embiid, but maybe somewhat, I don't want to say this word because it's going to come off a lot more negative than what I mean it, but somewhat limiting Embiid. And that concerns me because if Embiid is being held down a little bit.
One of my biggest concerns, though, is it's going to be the turnovers because his conditioning is so horrible. Yeah. And it's just going to be worse. So that's the only thing is that the Brooklyn Nets force them to turn the ball over a lot. That's the one thing that does concern me about the Brooklyn Nets. I agree with you 100% on what you're saying about Embiid and them not giving Embiid as much of a problem and Embiid being able to do his thing and take advantage of that team from his game. Mm-hmm. But if they're turning the ball over, I mean, he's not going to make it the 40-plus minutes that they need him to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but I don't think that they were like this team that didn't turn the ball over against Orlando.
No, but they weren't turning it over 27 times.
That last game where they lost by 22. They had to have.
Let's see. 10, 14.
Oh my God. These numbers are absurd.
11. They won. But they had
They
less.
won with 11.
They had less. And 15.
15. Yeah, see, I gotta see. It's
The
so hard.
27 was bad. The 27 was really
It's so
bad.
hard to talk to look back and say, okay, what game did they have 27 turnovers?
It was that first one when
It was that first one. So once again, that wasn't with this.
122. They lost 122 to 97. Joel only had 16 points and 15 rebounds. Ben was the leading scorer for the Sixers with 20.
But they had 27 turnovers in that game. So that was
Ben turned it over 5 times. Joel turned it over 5 times. Robert Covington turned it over 5 times.
And then let me ask you
and
this
Mike
question.
McConnell turned it over 4. JJ 3. That's
give
a lot.
Okay. So
and keep in mind,
is that it, or would anybody else turn the ball over? I'm just curious.
everyone turned the ball over who played.
Like TJ McConnell?
No, actually TJ.
He wasn't playing yet.
TJ and Furkan. TJ played 5 minutes, did not turn the ball over. Furkan played 3 and did not turn the ball over. But Joel, Ben, Dario, Markelle, Robert Covington, JJ Redick, Landry Shamet, Amir Johnson, and Mike Muscala all turned the ball over.
See, a lot of the guys there are not going to be here or play. I don't expect Amir Johnson.
That.
I don't expect Amir Johnson to get minutes.
But even JJ Redick turned the ball over 3 times when his season average for turnovers is 1.3.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's things like that I'm like.
But can't you say, like, what were their turnover numbers the other 3 games against them? And the only reason I ask is, can't you say that 27 turnovers against Brooklyn was an anomaly?
Yeah, 100%.
And so that's why I'm not saying that you can't look at that. You obviously have to look at everything.
Then they played them later. The game that Jimmy Butler hit the game winner. Yeah.
They had quite a few in that game too, didn't they?
So when Jimmy Butler hit the game winner, D'Angelo Russell had 38 points and Spencer Dinwiddie had 31, but they turned the ball over 16 times. The Sixers, Joel Embiid still had 4 turnovers that game, but he also scored 32 points.
Right.
Jimmy Butler only turned the ball over once and also scored 34 points. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons had 13 points and 3 turnovers, but he also had 9 assists and 5 boards.
And how many turnovers did they have as a team?
9.
In that game?
Yes.
So I see what you're saying, but I don't know if it's New Jersey can turn the Sixers over more so than, hey, in that game,
Jersey anymore.
Oh, whoever the hell they are, Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
They've moved.
Did they? No. Brooklyn cannot, or more so than, hey, for one game, the Sixers play like crap, turn the ball over 27 times. Orlando gives them, not only does Orlando give them problems from the guards, they give them problems down low. And I want a distinct advantage somewhere on the floor at all times. And I see that with Embiid versus any big man that they're going to try and throw at him in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. From a big man perspective, yeah, I'd go Nets all the way. And I agree. Just because the fact that, you need your best player to be your best player throughout the playoffs if you want to get anywhere. Stars need to be stars. And that's where somebody like Joel Embiid, does his best work. Now, granted, and additionally to that, Joel did not play. So I'm trying to do their averages against the Magic right now as we're talking so I can kind of have this. But Joel did not play in at least one of their games against the Magic. Okay. And that was not the game that Vucevic had 30.
No, he had 30 the day that Joel played in that game, right?
When they played here, Joel didn't play. But it was JJ Redick's comeback game. Remember, he was in that really awful shooting slump, and he had 26 points.
Yeah.
Tobias had 21, Ben had 16, Jimmy had 14, and Amir had 13. And Mike Scott had 11 as well. And Vucevic only had 12. Amir Johnson gave him a problem.
By the way, poll is up.
Limiting turnovers are going to be key for the Sixers. Embiid and Simmons are in the top 10 in turnovers in a game this season. If those two can limit it, then Philly will be fine.
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100% with that. It won't matter who they play. And I'm not sitting here telling you if they play Orlando, I think they'll lose to Orlando. I think they will win either first round series. I do. To me, I like Brooklyn a bit better. The poll question is up at Philly_Madness. Get on there now. Vote away. Who would you rather see the Sixers play in the first round of the NBA playoffs? Brooklyn, Orlando? Feel free to leave a comment why you're voting, whichever way you're voting. And we'll, if you guys vote while we're on the air, we will talk about it. We are, about a half hour into the show? 45 minutes into the show. I was like,
dude, we've been on here for longer than that.
45 minutes into the show. We're waiting for our This Week in Florida segment.
No, I told him to wait so we didn't interrupt our Sixers talk.
Yeah, but we could probably be talking about the Sixers.
No, that's fine. We'll just do it at the end. We'll keep going with the Sixers.
Okay, keep going with the Sixers. You told me to wait.
Don't break it up.
Don't break it up.
No.
So, another thing that I have written down here that I want to talk about.
All right. I'm going to keep getting my
Okay, let's play a scenario game.
Oh, boy.
Sixers make it to the playoffs, win in the first round, go to play Toronto in the second round, and get smoked. Mm-hmm. Which I think is very possible.
They play Toronto. I really don't. I don't see this. I don't see it going well.
And I think it's very possible that they get smoked. Mm-hmm. Not saying I agree with this. Not saying it's justified. But I think a faction of the fan base will get what they want. And what that is the Sixers moving on from Brett Brown. And I honestly have started to believe more and more that that's going to be the case. That's exactly how this is going to play out. And I don't know how I feel about it. I understand it. I understand the people's frustration. I understand that they look at Brett Brown and they see losing because of the first, 4 years of his tenure, 5 years of his tenure, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. But I don't think firing Brett Brown necessarily is what you have to do to try and keep guys in place. Here's the one thing about this team that concerns me. And to a certain extent, I guess it does fall on the coach. To a certain extent. Not to the full extent that some people want to put it on. Their mentality is not the Killers' mentality. They're too just like ho-hum for me.
Who?
The team in general. I have said over and over again, I want to see Jimmy take more control. And at times he has, but sometimes he still sits back. Mm-hmm. I have said at times I want to see Ben, get in guys' faces a little bit more. Everybody just seems like they're going through the motions at times. And I don't know how you just flip a switch and turn that into attack mode. And that's where I fear, I fear from the player standpoint, and I also fear, does Brett not ruffle the feathers enough to get those guys to that point?
So I think that I think if they get eliminated in the second round again, I think the biggest proponent of Brett Brown getting fired will be if, I think I've said this before, I don't know if I said this last week, will be if Elton Brand and the rest of the Sixers organization thinks that keeping Brett Brown will hinder their chances of re-signing Jimmy Butler, of re-signing Tobias Harris, and if they feel like guys like Ben and Joel, who have been here with him for the long run, have been here through some of these things and have also, been the ones to defend him in the past of, everything, like if they feel like they're not buying in anymore and they aren't as committed to Brett Brown, that's when they're going to move on.
Well, you saw the report that came out yesterday.
Which one?
Basically saying a team source.
Oh, Jesus. I'm so sick of team sources.
But bottom line is the report, regardless of if it's true or not, it is out there. That, Jimmy Butler doesn't, it's not that he hates it here, but doesn't really like being the third guy. And has an issue with the defensive philosophy of Brett Brown, whereas...
But that's my point.
But right whereas Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid don't have an issue with it, a lot of people, they feel that the team.
They also don't have a decision to make in July.
No, but they feel that the team is very confident that regardless of anything with Brett Brown, Tobias Harris will be re-signed. Mm-hmm. But they're waiting to see, it's almost like before they offer a max to Jimmy, they want to see him go in the killer mode.
Right.
And maybe he's going to. Maybe in the playoffs, he's going to say, enough of this. All of us are playing 40 minutes a game. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this thing last. Personally, I've said this numerous times, and I will stand by this. I know people are frustrated because they expected this different Jimmy Butler. Personally, if the organization feels they can do it, then you offer max deals to both Jimmy, you offer a max deal to Tobias, and you put it in their hands to make a decision. I think Tobias stays. I think Tobias likes it here.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Tobias would be least likely to stay or less likely to stay if he got rid of Brett Brown, because I think Tobias Harris likes Brett Brown. He said it multiple times.
I just think Tobias Harris likes the fact that somebody wanted him around. That he wasn't okay, I'll give you this because I want your guy. It was we'll give you this because we want Tobias Harris. And Tobias Harris has been traded many times and has never had that. Right. He's never had somebody do that. And he likes it here. They've got a chance to win. He's not going to leave that for something that he could potentially be in a different situation again, where he's being traded for an Anthony Davis or, something along those lines, where he's just thrown into another situation that maybe isn't the best one. Doesn't have the highest chance to win. And if he's, looking for a place that wants him.
Now, with all this said, we need Tobias to step it back up. He's shooting 32% from three-point land since he got here. He was great at the beginning for this team, but he's kind of dipped. We need Tobias that when he has an open three, you have that, it's going in feeling. Yeah. We need that Tobias on the Sixers as fans. Oh, understood. That's the one we need.
I'm with you there.
So hopefully that happens. I just, someone who I think, he's a guy I follow on Twitter who I think really knows his stuff and talks a lot of Sixers, said this. He's, and I'm not sure I agree 100%, but he said something along the lines of he saw this season as a wash with so much roster turnover during the season, not before, but during the season, that the goal was to get these guys to start to gel together, re-sign them, get a bunch of veterans on the bench that can come in and actually contribute. And next year's the year you say, you've got to go further. You've got to get Eastern Conference Finals. You've got to go to the NBA Finals.
Which isn't a bad thing, but there's a really crucial piece of that. It's re-signing them both.
I agree. But I think it can happen.
I agree, but it needs to. Like, that's a big what if. Yeah. That's a big question mark to be, like, okay with losing in the second round. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big...
Yeah, no, I look, I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Like, I don't feel comfortable just being like, yeah, okay.
So let me ask you, they lose in the second round in 5 games. Mm-hmm. Are you firing Brett Brown? And I'm not asking because I want you to say a specific thing. I'm just curious.
It depends on how they lose those games.
How would they have to lose those games for you to say, okay, he's got to go? Or you don't even have to say, okay, he's got to go. You could say,
it would have to look like the team, it was their first game playing together for 5 games straight.
Okay.
And they'd have to get, like, blown out each time. Not blown out, but it would have to be a repeat of the Celtics series last year.
How do we feel right now if the Sixers close out that game against Milwaukee last week? Different. We're all upset.
Different because they have that doesn't happen to the Sixers anymore.
No.
They don't lose those games anymore.
No. To me, that one hurt more than any of the blowouts we've seen lately.
100%. That one hurt the most because they were winning and missed all of their shots in the last 2 minutes. And part of the thing is they're not playing together enough. So they're not gelling together. So Joel Embiid in the last 2 minutes, do I think the ball should be in his hands? Yes. Do I think that they should not run through the entire offense to get it set up the right way? No. The first time Joel Embiid touched the ball in those last 2 minutes, the offense stopped. It was stagnant. No one was moving. The ball wasn't moving. And that shows me that he still thinks that he's the only person on the floor, which means he's not used to having the other guys around him because they haven't played together enough.
And it also shows me
which infuriates me.
It also shows me that the team does not do enough once Joel has the ball.
No, they don't move.
Prove to him.
Do you know how many times you can sit there and you hear Brett Brown screaming move? I'm screaming move at my TV.
That's why I say that's not on the coach. That's on the guys on the floor.
Right.
You've got to make yourself available, and Joel has got to, Joel has got to stop just coming down the floor late in games and shooting threes.
Yes.
I understand he made a few in that game down in Milwaukee, but more times than not, they're not going to go in. Mm-hmm. It's just, listen, I think we all have a sour taste in our mouth right now because of the way this has played out.
Yeah.
And because of that, the negadelphian is starting to come out. And guys like me and a lot of other fans.
Always does.
Shut up, you. And we have to see how it goes once the games start. But I will say this. If the starters are not playing 40 minutes a game, I don't think they can win any series. This bench is horrid.
Yes.
Horrid. I cannot watch TJ McConnell for more than 10 minutes a game in the playoffs.
Yes.
I know we all love him. I know everybody loves TJ. He can't guard anyone. He's not going to be able to guard D'Angelo Russell. He's not going to be able to guard DJ Augustine. He's not going to be able to guard anyone he's asked to guard in the playoffs. In my opinion, he's a 5 to 6 minute a game guy to give you a little spark here and there. But he can't play longer than that. He can't do it.
No, I'm with you there.
Boban, who I love, can't do it either.
I love TJ McConnell just as much as the next person, but at the end of the day, I start to cringe when I see him come on the floor again. And it goes back to, remember that guy who decided to come at me a couple weeks ago? Who did they play? Oh, they were playing Was it when they lost to the Magic? I feel like that was too long ago.
It could have been. It could have been.
Is this the game Ben didn't play? Yeah, what date was that? March 25th. Okay, yeah. It might have been that. It might have been that game. Yeah, because they played the Hawks 2 days before. That's what it was. And I tweeted something about Ben Simmons being really important. And someone jumped back down my throat and said, oh, well, did they win that game on Saturday? And I was like, well, Trae Young hit a buzzer beater, but Ben also had 21 points, 10 boards, 7 assists, a couple steals, a block or two in there too. And TJ McConnell scored 2 points. You mean to tell me that the difference between that, we don't have a backup point guard that we can rely on for points. When he gets to that spot, TJ's automatic. Love it. Mm-hmm. Love a good TJ jumper from the right elbow. Love it.
Yeah.
However, you can't rely on him to score points.
And you know what? One of my issues with Brett Brown is he has his offensive system, and that's all good and well, but it works better for some players than others. I want Ben coming off of dribble handoffs. I want JJ coming off of dribble handoffs. I don't want TJ coming off of dribble handoffs. I don't want James Ennis coming off of dribble handoffs. You have to adjust to the personnel on the floor at that time. And if you're not going to adjust, you're going to get beat more times than not. So if that's something I see a lot in the playoffs and they get smoked in the second round, by all means, you want to move on, fine. I always get nervous moving on. But in the NBA, it is something, and you saw it with Toronto. If you have good talent around you, as long as you bring in an adequate coach,
don't bring in Luke Walton. Don't do it.
Yeah, you're not going to go down. You know what I mean? You're not going to go down in steps. You'll be okay. So yeah. So I mean, look, I love Brett Brown. I'm not backing off of the hill yet. Am I starting to look down it rather than continuing to stand on top of it proud, Jess?
Yes.
Yes, I'm starting to look down it, and it makes me sad that I'm starting to look down it.
I know that we talked about, you tried to tell me last week that momentum isn't a huge thing. I just don't feel good about the way they're going into playoffs right now.
No.
And it's part
I know what you're saying.
But I think part of it last year was, the way that they went into playoffs last year, they had this city on their back, on their side, without a doubt. They don't have that this year.
No.
Will they still sell out playoff games? Yes, but the buzz is not going to be there the way it was last year, and that's what makes me nervous. Mm-hmm. And so I told you last week that I thought your point was stupid about saying that that the momentum didn't matter, because I think it does, but it's so much bigger than just the players. It's everything around it. And it just makes me extremely, extremely nervous.
But that gets me into the mentality. Okay? That gets me into the players' mentality. How we feel, we're good. Look, Sixers fans are going to be there. Sixers fans are going to be loud. Sixers fans are going to be into the game. So all that's going to be there.
Yeah, but the excitement around it is not nearly where it was. Because everyone's like, are they even going to make it out of the first? Who knows?
Yeah, but I think once the games start playing, the excitement will be there again. But it shouldn't matter to the players. That you need to be able.
I agree,
and that's what drives me insane. That's what drives me insane.
So, to sum up, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, their numbers are worlds better against the Nets. JJ Redick has insane numbers against the Orlando Magic for some odd reason. But Tobias Harris has only played one game against the Nets and 2 against the Magic. So Tobias's numbers against the Nets, you can't really look too deep into. But when it comes to so Ben, Joel, and Jimmy, all of their averages against the Nets this season are higher than their season average. Mm-hmm. And that's just in points. But Joel's carry for assists, rebounds, steals, not blocks. His blocks are close, but his season average is still higher. And, I mean, his turnover numbers are higher, too, and that's never what you want to see. But Jimmy Butler's are lower.
Listen, I hope that when we come on here next week, they're just got us all excited. By the way, so the Sixers are literally benching everybody tonight. Obviously,
oh my God, everyone? Is anyone playing?
And here's who's out: Embiid, Butler, Harris, JJ, Ben, Bolden, James Ennis are all out. All 7 of those guys are out.
Who do we have left? Oh my God, who's our starting?
Jonah Bolden is questionable.
They
haven't put it out there yet.
I'm going to guess.
Okay,
I'm going to write it down too. I'm going to guess. Ready? My starting 5 is TJ McConnell, Zaire Smith, Furkan, Amir, and wait, hold on. 1, 4. Who else will start? Shake? Or are they going to give Jonathan Simmons a start?
I don't know, but
either Jonathan Simmons or Shake Milton.
Amir's starting at the power forward today. Because when they were starting at center tonight?
Boban?
No.
Greg Monroe.
Greg Monroe is going to start at center tonight, I bet. I bet you Greg Monroe starts at center.
No, I'm not going to watch a single minute of this game.
Although, you want to know the only reason why I might? I love watching to see what Zaire is going to be. Because he's shown flashes to me that this kid can play. That we might have all jumped down the Sixers' throats a smidge too early. If this kid develops a jump shot, defensively...
Jeez, when have I said that before?
Yeah, but he's already shot more than Ben Simmons ever shot. And he's already made a couple. If he makes one more, he's already made more than Markelle Fultz. Unless he made one last night, because I didn't really watch last night.
Markelle Fultz is going to play tonight for the Magic?
No, because the Magic need the game. They have to win. But that would be interesting if we play the Sixers, or if
anyway,
Sixers play the Magic and Fultz comes back, which he will not. He will never play ever.
Jesus.
Ever.
I don't wish that for him. But
no, although I've started to kind of hate him a little bit. So
I just hate the way he reacted when he left.
Yes. Yeah, I have not appreciated that. So tonight should be interesting. I really hope the starting lineup comes out before we're done. This is The Man. This is brought to you by ProSportsNotes.com, WildfireRadio.com. You can catch us on YouTube on the Pro Sports Notes channel. Catch us on WildfireRadio.com every Friday morning, 9 to 11. Go to iTunes. Search The Madness with Rob Lange to subscribe to the podcast. Shop.prosportsnotes.com is where you can get wonderful shirts like the one Jess is wearing and a lot of other ones, including our new Stupid Money shirt, which is now available.
Yes.
We're going to be hoping to bring you some more fun apparel items, looking into a couple different things of how to make that happen. But please support the show. We're also, although I haven't really talked to Jess about this, going to create a Patreon page here soon. We'll talk about that a little bit as that gets up and running. Just another way that you can help to support this show. Just another thing in the basketball world.
Wait, pause. Did you see that Ben Simmons on the injury report? It's
yes, dental appointment or whatever, right?
Well, yeah. Well, do you know why?
No.
He got his tooth knocked out a couple days ago in one of the games, and he got it fixed the next day.
And it got knocked out again.
It got knocked out again last night.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Poor Ben. I've been there, buddy. I've been there.
She did knock her tooth out. We heard that story before.
I know how that feels. I know how that goes. I'm so sorry. Stay strong. You got it. You got this. I've been there. Not a good time. Not a good time, people.
Do we want to have...
Do
we want Patrick to call in now?
Well, he's a little busy now, so I have the stories.
Oh, well, play our music.
I'm
sorry.
You don't need to cue it. That doesn't help.
I know, but
that
I have
sounds
to cue
stupid.
it anyway.
No, it doesn't. That makes it sound stupid.
What do you mean?
I'm just supposed to start playing it. No. Don't. No.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'm going to play the song from last week that I really enjoyed.
Oh, God. Can you not do the dance moves this time?
I'm not going to.
Okay,
just
good.
in case this doesn't work. So,
I hope it doesn't work.
This week in Florida news, we've got a few from Patrick. First, Florida man gets out of jail, immediately steals car from prison parking lot.
Saw that. You know what that what that screams? He doesn't want to be out of jail.
No, he wants to go back.
He has nothing outside of jail. That's where his life needs to be. Uh-oh.
Oh.
What?
They want the children that you teach wanted a tour of our studio.
No, that's not happening.
That's not going to happen at all.
I have to deal with you guys during the day. I'm not going to deal with you here.
Florida man drives stolen car back to the scene of the crime to ask if anyone found his missing cell phone.
Wait, is that the same story?
No, it's a different one.
So, read it again. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Florida man drives stolen car back to the scene of the crime to ask if anyone found his missing cell phone.
I mean, come on. Just be a better criminal, man. Just be a better criminal.
Just be better.
Just be better.
Florida Good Samaritan shot dead after picking up tabs at Waffle House. Now, that's just messed up. Now, why'd you send me this, Patrick? I don't like this one.
Wait. I was reading something else that was ridiculous.
How about you pay attention to what I'm reading?
Yeah, but this was ridiculous. But go ahead.
I don't even want to read that again. Like, that's not funny. That's terrible.
Man was shot at a Waffle House.
After he picked up all the tabs of the Waffle House for people.
And then someone shot him?
Yeah.
Patrick, that's not funny.
That's not funny. Patrick,
we might have to fire you on that one.
Patrick, you are fired for right now. The last one is funny. Florida man arrested after dining on spaghetti with his bare hands. I don't know why. I'm going to click on that one to see if there's a reason.
What?
See if there's a reason.
That's just a stupid Florida rule if that's the case.
If that's a law in Florida, I'm going to die laughing. Let's see. Man was causing a disturbance. When the cops arrived, they found him sitting shirtless near the front door, eating spaghetti with his bare hands.
So he wasn't arrested for eating spaghetti with his bare hands.
He became angry when the Olive Garden employee told him to stop. Yeah.
I don't know. These stories didn't do it for me.
Hold on.
It was a boring week in Florida.
After he was arrested, he smashed his head into the patrol car's metal partition. He was charged with disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer without violence.
Okay.
That's interesting. Like, well, think about it. You're sitting in Olive Garden with your family, enjoying your meal. And this shirtless man walks in and orders a bowl of spaghetti and starts eating it with his hands and yelling things. And they try to get him to stop. He doesn't. A cop comes in and he starts yelling at the police officer and then smashes his head on the police car.
Well,
that's just an average day in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, this
was a very average
week in Florida. I mean, according to these news stories, this was an average week. I mean, we had guys raping alligators last week.
We need to stop talking about that. Seriously, we need to stop talking about that.
You are so disturbed by that.
It's not even that. I just don't think it's something we should talk about on here.
Oh, it's an issue.
No, that's not one of them I think we should talk about. I need to read these stories before they are allowed to be read out loud.
No, that breaks the whole fun of not knowing.
Yeah, but they need to be censored part of the time.
Why does it be censored?
Like, I just didn't read half of that article because I was censoring it for our viewers.
Yeah,
so we don't get. No, I don't care. I'm trying to be taken seriously out here. We can talk about funny stories, but there's a limit.
I don't know. Have you heard some of the stories they talk about on the radio?
That's why I stopped listening to you guys last week. I was just dancing.
Have you heard some of the stories they talk about on the radio when they do stupid news stories?
I mean,
you can talk about things.
Yeah, but it just, no.
It was an alligator.
They've already made it. They can do it.
It was an alligator. It was a gator.
Did you turn my music off?
Yeah, it was time for that to go away.
Why?
It was over.
You couldn't even hear it. You didn't even turn it up loud enough.
Oh, no, trust me. It was loud enough.
I don't have one of my headphones on. I
guess. That's where the effect comes in. It
just hurts my head.
Before we get to This Is Madness, although actually, you know what? We could put this into This Is Madness this week. This Is Madness. Here we go.
Sure.
Magic Johnson.
Yep.
Was it during a game last night? Were they playing? Were the Lakers playing? And he just has an impromptu press conference.
I think so, but they weren't home.
Without telling Jeannie Buss or anybody else, just walks out and says, "Oh, by the way, I quit." And then goes on to drop Russell Westbrook's name and say, "I'm a free bird."
Give me my sound back.
What do you have it?
Yeah.
We're sitting here with dead air.
And then I got a great life. I was like, damn, I got a great life outside of this. What am I doing? You know, I got a beautiful life. So I'm going to go back to that beautiful life. And I'm looking forward to it. And somebody going to have to tell my boss, because I know she's going to be sick, but I know I couldn't face her face to face and tell her. Even though I was just with her yesterday, and we had a 3-hour meeting.
3-hour meeting.
The direction of this great organization.
What in the hell?
And so today, Rachel, I'm free, my love.
Have you really not told Jeannie yet?
No, I haven't. I couldn't stand up telling her. But
That's
the one
like
thing that she had in me, somebody she could trust and loyal to her.
Somebody she could trust and loyal to her.
Now there's the line.
I don't think.
No.
I've been talking to people walking here. We've been talking about next year, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to be here.
Now, wait a minute. There's a few things here. First of all.
A few things to take from that.
Yeah. First of all, and that's not everything he said. But
no, that was just that part.
That snippet. First of all, that's like me saying I'm going to quit my job, but I'm going to tell the world on the radio here first, and I'm going to tell every student I've ever owned.
Ever owned. Oh, boy. And we've taken a turn.
Every student I've ever taught. And I'm going to basically start the new job almost and then say, oh, yeah, I got to tell the principal that I'm leaving. No.
Yeah.
No. That doesn't work.
No.
Whether you're afraid that she's going to cry and force you to stay, or be a man, Magic. Be a damn man.
How about you just be a decent human for once in your life, please?
Here I come with conspiracy theories.
Oh, Jesus.
And I have 2 of them.
Oh, fantastic. Can't wait.
One of them was LeBron went to Jeannie Buss, LeBron went to Magic and said, this ain't working. So one of us has to go. And Magic said, I'll go. You stay. That's one.
I don't care.
Okay. Here's the big one, and here's the one that you should freaking care about, because I think this conspiracy theory has a little bit more reality in it. Okay? What did we watch Magic attempt to do multiple times this year and got in trouble for it? Word that begins with T and ends with ampering.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay? Tampering. Because he was a part of the team. What's one thing we will always know about Magic Johnson? He is a Laker for life. He loves the Lakers. He still loves the Lakers. He's always going to love the Lakers. So when he pulls this impromptu press conference and then says, now I could do things like congratulate Russell Westbrook on a 2020-20 night. I could work out with Ben Simmons. Who else you got to work out with? Magic? Anthony Davis? Kawhi Leonard? And during these workouts, now that you're not a member of the team, you got to say, man, you would fit so well in that lifestyle of LA. You already like it out here. Look, you're out here now in the offseason working with me, and we're at the Lakers facility because they open it up for me. It is a great place.
That doesn't mean the Sixers are going to approve him doing that.
And now all of a sudden,
doesn't mean the Sixers are going to let him do that because the Sixers aren't dumb.
The Sixers, if it's the break, and Ben is
you
just
don't think
LA.
you don't think that Elton's going to have a conversation with Ben before that even could possibly happen?
I hope so. What if Ben says, "Screw that! I don't want to be a part of your team if you're not going to let me work out with anybody."
All right, then I don't want him here anyway.
Oh, just because he wants to work out with somebody?
No, just because if he's like, okay, screw that, I don't want to be a part of your team if you're not going to let me do that. That's a bunch of crap. I don't want a person like that here.
All I'm saying is,
quite honestly, I don't want a person like that here.
All I'm saying is, I think
I also don't really,
more,
I don't really give a crap if he works out with Magic Johnson. I really don't care.
I do now because I think it's even worse. I think
if he's gonna leave, he's gonna leave.
I think there's more than what meets the eye with this Magic Johnson thing. That's all I'm saying.
That's fine, but I just think you're just overreacting and being dramatic for no reason at this point. For no reason.
I'm not. I don't care. I'm just saying my whole thing is I don't want him around Magic Johnson now. I really don't. I don't want him around. Look.
What if he goes and works out with Magic Johnson and comes back with a jump shot?
Well, yeah, Magic Johnson was one thing he wasn't very good at.
I'm just saying, like, what if he just comes back?
Magic ain't gonna teach him the jumper.
What if he comes back better?
I want a guy to teach Ben how to shoot a jumper.
Okay, that's fine. But I also would love a guy who is a big point guard to teach Ben how to be a better big point guard when he's already a pretty good big point guard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know what Magic is going to do for him when the next step in Ben's progression is scoring the basketball from outside of 3 feet from the rim.
Who knows?
That's the next progression we want to see from Ben.
Yeah.
Right? That's all. But
this tweet was funny. It says Magic won 5 titles, 3 MVPs, built a business empire worth $600 million, overcame HIV, but not getting Anthony Davis did him in.
Someone said something about the HIV, how he, beat it after however many months.
And 9 months of LeBron.
9 months of LeBron.
Done.
Interesting.
It just repeatedly. So happy he's not here. Just so happy he didn't come here. I was so upset, and I got over. Now, well, I told you it was only a couple days, so I got over it quickly, and now I'm just excited. I told you if it was Bryce Harper that didn't come here, that would have hurt more. That absolutely would have stung more. But I was all right with the LeBron thing. After a couple of days, I was sad at first, and then I was like,
yeah,
we'll be fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, what do you got?
So I'm gonna tell a funny story about how I almost killed Joe in front of his grandmother the other day because it's a true thing that almost happened. So. We were going to the Phillies game on Monday, and we wanted to go, and we didn't know if it was going to be sold out or not. And then in reference to what you told me last week, now they're selling out again. There's lines for everything, all the different food stuff, no matter what it is. So I wanted to get food and be there for, in my seat. I wanted to be there when he ran out into right field because we were in the 3rd row in right field. Like, we were right there behind him the entire time. So wanted to be there, wanted to be ready. So I left work and was going to his house to change, and then we were going to get on the subway. I texted him when I was leaving. Now, I should preface this by saying he has this horrible habit of me texting him saying, all right, I'm on my way. I'll just have to drop something off, and then we can leave. He has this horrible habit of saying, okay, and it takes me 40 minutes to get to him, and after 30 minutes of doing nothing, he decides to get up and get in the shower. So he's typically in the shower when I get there. So I have to call him 3 or 4 times to let me in. And he's still, not dressed, not ready by any stretch to leave. So I said, all right, I'm on my way. He read my text and didn't answer. I got to his house. I called this boy 14 times and texted him about 20. He left his phone in the kitchen and was sitting talking to his mom and grandmother. I when he opened the door, I walked in screaming at him. I was so angry because I was outside for almost 20 minutes just waiting for him. Like, we were supposed to leave. I was supposed to get there, change, and we were out the door in 5 minutes. That did not happen. And I was so annoyed because I was like, so meanwhile, then I'm like, oh my God, like, did something happen? Is he okay? Like, where is he? What's going on? He's just not answering at all. Not answering. I was so angry. So then we get on the subway, and the train that we got on needed maintenance, so it had to stop. We had to get on a different train. It was so then I just kept looking at him being like, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. I was so angry. I was so angry.
The mind of a woman is so messed up.
But it would be different if he didn't do that to me like regularly. He regularly waits until the very last minute so he doesn't answer the phone when I get there.
The poor man is having a conversation with his mother and his grandmother.
So keep your phone near you. So meanwhile, this is my favorite. He decides to like look out the window and be like, she should be getting here soon. Sees my car and is like, she just pulled up. I'll go open the door for her. So then I went back and sat in my car because I was like, oh my God. So I get out of the car and I'm like, where have you been? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I will kill you. I will kill you right now. I was so annoyed. Annoyed.
I'm telling you.
I was so annoyed.
We can't win. We can't win. There's always an issue.
And his poor grandmother was like, please come give me a hug. You were yelling when you got in. And I was like, that's just because your
Yeah.
I was like, that's because your grandson's an idiot. She's like, I know. He's a man. They never change.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
All
right, before I get to my irrational excitement.
Okay.
I want to talk about a guy that we've mentioned before. And listen, I'm sure he's a great guy, and I'm sure he knows his stuff. But there are people out there that think that the process has had to go on and on and on, and the Sixers would just win despite the process. And that man that I'm referring, I mean, there are plenty of them, but one of those men wrote an article this week.
Oh, boy.
And the title of the article was, Star Hunting May Have Cost Sixers a Chance at the Finals.
I'm sorry, what?
And here's a paragraph from this article. Ultimately, the Sixers would have been better off skipping all of their top-end talent acquisition efforts in the offseason, and more importantly, during the season, and focused on maintaining roster consistency with their non-star, cost-controlled role players, while adding personnel that would highlight the strengths of their two homegrown stars, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. It would have made them a better team this year and given them as much, if not more, opportunity to get better in the future. Now, the man that wrote this article is none other than...
Santoliquito?
No. Is no other than Spike Eskin.
Of course it was.
Who says, as it turns out, star hunting may be the thing that keeps them from the finals. I don't understand. Look, I know that the year has not gone the way a lot of people expected it to. I know the people expected the Sixers to be fighting for the first seed this year after all these moves were made. Mm. But the idea, and to come up with the rationale that keeping Landry Shamet, Robert Covington, Dario Saric, Wilson Chandler, and Mike Muscala would have given you a better opportunity in the Eastern Conference playoffs against the likes of a Toronto or Milwaukee, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the dumbest takes I have ever read in the history of my life. Mm-hmm. I do not I get it. You loved Sam Hinkie. I get it. And what Sam Hinkie did was exactly what we needed at that time. But get the hell over it. You were not going to win with that roster. You were going to come back to the playoffs as probably the 4 or 5 seed. And the same thing was going to happen to you. Now, the counter argument they'll make is, well, the same thing's going to happen to us anyway. Maybe it does. But to me, I could say this year where I couldn't say it last year, talent can help this team just prevail to a win. Mm-hmm. They have talent on this roster that could just go out there. We'll keep them in games at a point where they could steal games and steal a series. You couldn't do that, Robert Covington. No. You couldn't do it with Dario Saric, who, by the way, has not been that good this year.
No.
Just stop. Just stop. Like, I almost want to be that guy that says, well, you know what? If you're going to be this guy, you shouldn't be able to root for them when they start getting very successful with this talent. It just drives me nuts. It just drives me absolutely nuts. And I just can't fathom that this article was written and people are agreeing with it. It just drives me insane.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is who he is. Yeah. He used to be the anti-Howard, then he became his dad with his hot takes. I'm not even going that far. And look, I'm not even going to say that Spike is doing this for clicks. I think Spike honestly believes this. And I'm not saying you can't have your own opinion, but I'm going to have my own opinion, and that I disagree wholeheartedly that the team would have been better off as it was when it was created before game 1 than where it is now created before game 82. That's it.
Yeah, no,
that's my rant.
I absolutely agree. And that was the biggest thing. You know, they needed to do something. I'm
going to need this for the end of the show.
They needed to do something about it, and it was extremely obvious when the season started that they needed something to be done, and anyone who thinks that didn't help is extremely stupid.
Yeah, I can't agree with it. I can't get in. I just can't. You have anything else for us over there, Jess?
I do. I have one more thing, which is pretty awesome. So he's not my cousin. He's one of my cousins on his opposite side of the family, the side of the family that we don't share. They're big baseball players. So my cousin was a big baseball player. We went to high school together, and he played at Vanderbilt, and he was on the College World Series team in, what year was that? 2014, I guess. Vanderbilt won the College World Series.
Sounds about right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He was on that team and was drafted to the Pirates organization. And his cousin, so on his dad's side, our moms are first or second cousins. I don't know how it works. On his dad's side, his cousin was a big baseball player as well. And he went to Pitt and was drafted to the Yankees organization, and he just got called up last night to be a reliever in their bullpen.
Very nice.
So anytime you see Joe Harvey.
So they're playing the Astros tonight, so I'm hoping that game's on TV somewhere up here where I can tune in towards the end to see if he gets in there. But they kept him on their 40-man, so he didn't go into the Rule 5 draft or whatever. Yes.
So yeah, they kept him in there, so he didn't. I mean, last year his numbers were pretty good. He walked more batters than he should have, but his ERA was really good and some other stuff. So
that's awesome.
Excited.
Good luck, Joe. Good luck.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Absolutely. And
that's all I got.
That's all you got,
yeah.
Huh? Are you sure you have nothing else?
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm good.
All right. Well, then with that, I'll get into there's two things I'm irrationally excited about.
Oh, boy.
We'll get to the song playing in the background in a minute. But before we get to that, live action Disney movies, the preview for The Lion King came out today. Oh, boy, I'm pumped for that.
I'm excited.
Aladdin,
well, the other ones
Dumbo.
have all been trash.
Jungle Book was great.
I haven't seen the Jungle Book.
What one was trash?
Well, okay.
Beauty and the Beast was excellent.
No, it was not.
Oh, my God. Yes, it was.
Oh, my God. It was terrible.
It was
the
not
casting
terrible.
was horrible.
Oh, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're totally out of your mind.
You are the only true Disney fan I've ever met that actually thought it was decent.
Phenomenal.
You're the only one that I've ever met that actually thought it was decent.
Well, you haven't met good ones then. I'll tell you that right now. But we'll move on from that. Because right now, for those of you that have zero fun in your life or are living under a rock, we are 4 sleeps away from the final season of Game of Thrones premiering. And I've always liked the show, and I was always very excited for this moment. But over the weekend, I became obsessed. From Friday to Sunday, I watched the entire season 1. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, Monday, I bounced around and watched a bunch of episodes, a couple from last season. I watched the last 2 episodes of season 6 and the first 2 episodes of season 7. Yesterday, I got home from school and realized one channel was playing all of season 2 all the way through, and it was about at episode 5. It was on my TV until they got through episode 10.
Nice.
Tonight, I will go home and I will watch a couple episodes from season 3 and then move back into season 7. I want nothing but to spend my time at home for the next week watching Game of Thrones. I am so excited for this show to end. And I just, it's oh my God, it's so good. I don't care what you say, you're wrong. It's tremendous. And God damn it, I'm going to bring it up every day until May 19th when it comes to an end.
Okay. You do
but for right now.
I didn't listen to a single word you just said for the last
Yeah, no one cares what you want to do. But for right now, we're going to come to an end. A little early, but studio time a little bit crazy today. So we're going to be getting out of here. Good show. Well done, Jess.
Yep.
Tailgate party.
Don't forget about it.
Start planning for it, April 25th. Don't worry, we're not going to let you forget.
No.
I want to thank ProSportsNotes.com, WildfireRadio.com. Check us out there 9 to 11 Friday morning. Check us out on YouTube. You can watch this and any other episode by just going to the Pro Sports Notes channel. Next week, draft time. We'll try and get some guests. We'll try and have some fun. We'll go Eagles, talk a little Sixers playoffs. Should be fun.
Should be fun. Let's hope it is.
Jess, let's have a good week.
You too.
Everybody embrace the madness. We'll talk to you next week.